Now, just like food, the drinks industry isn't immune from rising prices for its basic ingredients. Heineken is the world's second largest brewer, and while the drinks it offers aren't perhaps strictly necessary, they are popular. The company reported profits of $1.3 billion last year. Now, the huge growth in alcohol-free options is helping the Dutch giant navigate a turbulent global economy. Our reporter Jonathan Josephs has been speaking to its boss.
Dolf van den Brink, welcome to Talking Business. The last year or so has been a fragile time for the global economy, yet you've managed to get your company back to growth. What's been the key to that?
I think it's staying true to our priorities, which is always about serving our consumers and customers the best we can, focus on our brands, focus on our breweries. The Heineken brand has been extraordinarily important at that, as well as the rest of our premium portfolio, as well as the 0.0 segment, which is having a lot of momentum at the time.
You bring me on to the next question. As you say, zero alcohol beer is a big part of your strategy now. I just wonder, what's driving that? What can you tell us about why that is doing so much better than the rest of the business, certainly in terms of how much it's growing?
Yeah, I think non-alcoholic beer is not new. It has been around for many decades, but there were always three problems. And we really changed that by the launch of Heineken 0.0 back in 2017. And we solved for the three problems. Due to a technological breakthrough, Heineken 0 tastes like real beer. It was the first 0.0 that really tasted like beer. Secondly, with the Heineken brand, it sends a very strong premium and quality signal. And thirdly, we really invested a lot in making 0.0 beer socially acceptable through our advertising and especially through our Formula One sponsorship platform.
How much is it to do with health concerns? Earlier this year, the US Surgeon General warned that alcohol was the third leading preventable cause of cancer, and we know that younger people are being more health conscious.
I think the wellness trend, the health trend, is something that has been around for a long time. Right now, we're seeing the social acceptability of 0.0 beers like Heineken 0.0 really going up and becoming relevant in many more occasions. I love to take a Heineken 0.0 with my lunch, for example, which is something I didn't used to do in the past.
Dolf, it's interesting you mentioned the social difficulties. How do you overcome that hurdle? Because you did some research with Oxford University earlier this year, a survey showing that people are reluctant to drink zero alcohol beer when they're with their friends. So how do you overcome that hurdle?
Yeah. This, together with taste and perception, that is the main barrier. By putting the Heineken brand, the largest, most premium brand in the world, behind 0.0, turning the whole Formula One platform, a sponsorship platform on 0.0, I think we're playing a major role in making it more socially acceptable. We dedicated 25% of our global marketing budget to the Heineken 0.0 variant, which was vastly over-investing because indeed we felt it was really important to switch consumer perceptions of non-alcoholic beer.
And how important is zero alcohol to your profitability, to your future as a company? What share of sales is it now, and where do you think it might be in 5 years' time, perhaps?
We believe this is going to be a major part of our business going forward. Today, zero alcohol beers is only around 3% of our portfolio, but it's growing year over year at 10% plus. We're seeing this now really becoming a global phenomenon, and as such, it's a huge strategic priority.
When it comes to those sports sponsorships, you're spending a huge amount of money, hundreds of millions of dollars on Formula One, on Champions League football. How do you gauge the success of that? Because you have to sell an awful lot of beer to pay for that.
Yes, those kind of big sponsorships are indeed an expensive, endeavor. So it only really works if you're truly a global brand with global reach, serving hundreds of millions of consumers all over the world. So for us, it really works. And we felt actually using that sponsorship platform at the service of building and growing 0.0 beers globally was the right thing to do. And we believe it really is starting to pay off.
And is there a way you could measure that?
Yes, like with all marketing, it is not a complete exact science, but in this world where so much more of your marketing is digital, your ability to measure your return on investment has been going up relative to the past. So yes, indeed, we do feel we have the kind of analytical ability to justify those investments. Otherwise, we wouldn't do them, of course.
I want to talk about tariffs, Dolf. President Trump's trade war is perhaps the biggest cloud hanging over the global economy at the moment. What does it mean for a global company like Heineken selling in pretty much every country in the world?
Yes, of course. We like to say at Heineken, I have a green Heineken bottle. I don't have a crystal ball. So I don't know more than you. There's a lot of uncertainty and volatility, so that is what it is. But let me speak to our industry and our company. Beer is really a local for local business. In over 95% of our global volume is actually produced in a local brewery for a local market with local employees, mostly using local ingredients, serving local consumers. And the more local for local you are, the more kind of protected you are from disruptions in the global trading network.
Do you have any concerns, though, that if the global economy suffers, if consumers are less willing to spend, if they've got to spend more on other things, they'll have less money to spend on your beer, certainly in North America, which is obviously a big market for you?
Well, historically, beer has proven to be a relative resilient consumer category. Under different circumstances, people feel the need to come together and share a beer and have a moment of enjoyment.
But correct me if I'm wrong, but you make some of your beer in Mexico and send that over the border into the United States. So will these tariffs push up prices anywhere for you?
Yes, in general, pricing is something that we need to be balanced about. Of course, the last few years, triggered by a couple of years of very high inflation levels on input cost around the world, there has been a lot of pricing, and we need to make sure that we stay affordable for our consumers. And that's why also last year, but also this year, you see much more moderate pricing across our different markets.
Now, climate change, Dolf, that's a big area of concern and challenge for many businesses. And scientists have been warning that it means that the quality and the taste of the ingredients that are crucial to beer are changing. How do you overcome those challenges as a company where that is essential to what you do?
First and foremost, we try to do our part on addressing where we are having an impact on the environment. We really focus on decarbonization. I'm proud to say over the last 2 years only, we reduced our global carbon emissions by over 1/3. We're also really focusing on water usage and to really drive efficiency. But indeed, it's something that we do need to focus on developing more drought-resistant varietals of barley, for example.
Dolf van den Brink, thank you very much for speaking to us.
Thanks, Jonathan, for having me.
That's all for this week. For the latest on the global economy, do check out the BBC News website and app. Thanks for watching. We'll see you very soon. Bye-bye.